All right. All right, we are live, and I missed the countdown, so we'll do that next week. We actually had a countdown, but I didn't go live. And Bill reminded me that, hey, Sean, you need to go live before you do the countdown. So, anyways, let's go back and start all over again because I was just talking about the whole thing, and it is actually 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast, and it is 5 o'clock on the West Coast. As Pacific time, I'll say it because we're in Standard Time. Welcome, adventurers. I'm your guide, Sean McZoo, and this is the Reptile Show Reporter. As usual, Bill Strand, the headmaster of the Community Academy, is my co-host, and I said that right the second time, so maybe I didn't need the practice. Tonight, we are discussing where to find answers. How do you know who to trust? But before we do that, we've got a little business to do. Sad business, unfortunately. Where did it? Okay. And I don't have it in front of me. I had it all in front of me and everything. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to take a second to think about Brian Barczyk, who's one of the people who made all this stuff kind of possible. He passed this Monday. It's a sad event, but we're not going to keep sadness here. We're going to do it like an Irish wake or what have you and party on from the whole thing and know that he's in a better place. So that's all for today. But thanks, Brian, for being here for us and all that you've done. Okay. Let's see. We need to do the music.
We need music, man.
Ben, what's up? All right. We're back, and I'm going to get rid of that. And holy snikes, Jennifer just declared that her micro squirrels, who one of them was the female, of course, was pregnant and pregnant. There are, I don't know how many micro squirrels. I see 4 babies. She's showing me a picture. I don't know if she could send it to me so I can get it on there. There's 4 baby micro squirrels. So anyone in the market for micro squirrels, I don't know. We're not gonna sell them at all. We're gonna keep every one of them just like I keep every one of my pets. All right. So that's a positive spin on things and a direction to head. So all right, Bill. Let's go to the chat. Well, first, let's go to the chat, I guess. We got 14 comments already.
Holy cow.
Holy mackerel. So Eliza Ann is here. And I'm going to start showing these chats because I realized when I was watching your thing that we don't actually see these when
Nope.
When you do it. And so
put them up.
Let's see. Eliza Ann is here. And there she is.
Hello, Eliza Ann.
And go back to the chat. And let's see who else is here.
Annabelle's here.
Annabelle's here. We don't have anything from Annabelle, but we'll put her comment up anyways. Good evening.
Picture of Annabelle. If you come back to a second show, your family, we need a picture of you.
Yeah, absolutely. We need you in a picture with us, I think. If you come for a third show, I guess we do it that way. James Cross is here. Of course, he's saying hi to Eliza Ann. So I don't know. Do we show his picture anyways? I guess we have to. He is the infamous James Cross. He may be one of the Illuminati. We don't know if he's a stone carver or an Illuminati or what he might be, but we found out all kinds of things about him in his last show with Bill. Let's see, Inspector Gadget. We don't have a picture of him, but that's okay. I'm having a brain.
I got a picture of Howard. I could send you.
Oh, do you have a picture of Howard? Okay.
Well, I have to sort through my.
You work on your picture of Howard, and I'll and that's all that's here. It's just a bunch of comments from those two. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I saw Two Turtle Tom somewhere here.
Yeah,
no, there's more. There's a whole lot more. I
picture of him.
I missed the part. So James Cross, Panther Pellet. I trust Sean and Bill. Did I pass? I know. You can trust Bill, but Sean is way out there. I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him. And at his weight, I wouldn't try to pick him up because you hurt your back. Let's see. Inspector Gadget, we just talked about Howard. Bill's trying to get a picture of him. Two Turtle Tom. Well, I trust Two Turtle Tom more than I trust me. All right. And speaking of Two Turtle Tom, I'm going to hit the announcements anyways. Bill and I are both going to be on his show tomorrow. We're going to be talking chameleons. We're going to be talking chameleons of the Kenyan variety. You know, the Jacksons and the and some of the others. The minor, I don't know, they're minor, but they're minor in the pet trade. But things like the Hanelli and the Eliati and what have you. But let's get Two Turtle Tom up here. All right.
You can check your phone.
Two Turtle Tom. Check my phone. All right. So now I gotta I need so Bill, talk a little bit while I get this picture to my computer here.
Yeah, we need to figure out who Panther Palette is. We now need a real name.
Okay. All right. So we need a real name for Panther Palette. Good evening, guys. I don't know if notifications are going live. I don't know who this is. It's I don't know. It might be we'll just tell you who you are because it doesn't show us. So we'll not take guesses. James Cross.
Yeah. So this is. You know what? While we got the time, I'll just run through. There's been more and more live podcasts coming out, and so at this point, let's see. I am on YouTube and Instagram on Chameleon Academy Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Then Sean is here at Reptile Show Reporter at 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube at the Reptile Show Reporter YouTube. And then on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, you got the Two Turtle Tom show YouTube. Friday, you have some time off. And then Saturday, we're back at Chameleons and Coffee at 12 noon at the Chameleon Academy channel. So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. And then
absolutely. And
on Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. Pacific, and this will be on YouTube as well, starting this Sunday, we have Chameleon Chore Night. That's where I've got to do fruit fly cultures and put together feeder like cricket and roach feeder bins. It's just doing stuff. And it's not a show, it's just doing stuff. And I said, I'm going live to make sure I do it every Sunday. And people started showing up. And now it's kind of like an informal party. And we all just show up and I drink I do my chores. People do their chores. I drink my ginger beer. Yeah, that's the kind of edge you got here. And we just have some fun. So that's available to you as well.
All right. So for me, are you done with that, Bill?
I'm done.
Okay. For me, I recorded a podcast just last evening with Keith from Herps Alive. That was one of the people that we couldn't get to do very well on our previous software. And I did a whole hour podcast with him. It was so informative. I learned a whole lot, even though I've known him for 7 years. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to launch next Tuesday. Hopefully sooner if I can get the editing done. But there's a lot of work going on at work, and I'm moving from different places. So I don't know how that fits in, but that's not one of those things. So, all right. So that was Howard you sent, right, Bill?
Yep.
All right. Just keep talking here for a second. Hey, Stephanie Payne. Not
Stephanie
late.
Payne is in the house.
We knew it was Stephanie Payne. I knew it. All right. I wasn't going to say it because there she is.
Yay, Stephanie.
But that's always good. All right.
I love this show. We celebrate. Every time you show up, we celebrate.
And it's a panther there. And so,
I mean, everybody. Anybody shows up, we celebrate you showing up.
Yes, exactly. And let's see if I can actually find this picture of Howard that you sent me. I sent it somewhere to here, and I put my stuff in a new location.
Like the dog show here. When you come home, we're happy. We're ecstatic.
And no matter how long it's been, if it's been you just walked out the door to take the trash out and you're back, we're ecstatic to have you back. So
that's right.
My dog like that. My dog is not. This morning, my dog wouldn't let me move or do anything. She was like a tail on it. One of our two dogs was literally a tail for me. So it was kind of a crazy day. But I don't know where this went.
Oh no.
It's got to be here somewhere.
Oh, you got to show it off.
I know, and I am not doing a great job of that. So, all right. Okay, I will have it. I have it in possession, Howard.
Right.
I will have it for the next show. And maybe if I remember, we'll put it in the beginning, not the beginning part of the show, not the video. I'd have to fix that up, but we'll put it in there somewhere. So, all right, Bill. Our topic tonight is who do you trust? How do you decide who to trust? There's different places. Where do you go when you have a question? Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, to the vet, ARAV, which is the Association of Reptile and Avian Vets, Google. Who do you trust? How do you figure out how to trust?
Well, that's a difficult question because anybody listening already knows where to go. It's for the people that just show up, but it's a good idea for everybody here to realize that we are having a major shift in the community as far as information gathering. And what's happened is we have transferred from information scarcity to information overload, to the point where literally you could, and I'll talk from the chameleon world, and people are doing this. You could not own a chameleon, have never owned a chameleon, and put together an entire chameleon website with affiliate links, Amazon buy list, and all of that wonderful stuff. And you can actually sound halfway decent. All you got to do is run by the Facebook groups and figure out who knows what they're talking about and just steal their stuff and repurpose it. And that
all
is
right, Bill, I hate to interrupt, but Inspector Gadget had a couple comments that are really important to remind you. He said that, you're going to get your revenge. And he said, don't create an OnlyFans account without his permission. So so that's out there in the world. And we said it. Liza Ann actually said Howard's on a roll tonight. Hey, Mikey Ben is here. So we got to put Mikey Ben's picture up. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Bill. I know that you were doing some good stuff and actually talking about the topic at hand. All right, where is Mikey Ben? I don't see him in my pile here. All right, Mikey Ben.
Community here.
Yes,
having fun.
Yes, I will have to put Mikey Ben on the list as well as Howard to make sure they get on the picture list, because I've got this new software that Bill didn't talk me into. He just showed me the new software, and I was drooling so much that I had to go get it, even though I have an entire year. Two Turtle Tom said, "What's OnlyFans?"
Yeah, you see what?
I don't know. I wouldn't know about that.
Tell you what OnlyFans is.
Yeah, I don't know. We won't talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. See, I am blamed just by living. Just by living my life, it's my fault. That's what I'm hearing.
Wait, no, Tom, don't Google it.
Well, here, I can screen share. Let's figure it out.
Don't Google it. No, we don't. No, there'll be none of that here. This is a G-rated show, maybe PG at the worst. That's not. So, not that I even know what it is, but I've heard rumors of different things, and I don't like to be that way. So, anyways, Bill, you're talking about who do you trust and how do you know what to trust? And we're going to have a whole bunch of people, and we're going to have people watching this in 2 years, and they're going to wonder who to trust. And so they may not be able to be here. They may not have, it wasn't live at the time. How do you figure out who to trust?
Oh, you know what? It's really easy, relatively easy. Is first of all, the important thing is you need to decide that you need to check into the people that you're talking about. That solves so many problems, because what people do is they come to Facebook or their social media of their choice, and they just listen to the people that are the most confident, which just means these people want to be seen as experts. It doesn't mean they know anything. Mm-hmm. And on social media, you can defend whatever you want to, tooth and nail. And if that's the way you're judging whether someone's an expert or not, we got a whole lot of experts out there. Mm-hmm. No, what's simple is Google the person's name. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is say, okay, well, I've got these 3 different opinions. Mm-hmm. Who knows what they're talking about? Google the name. because we have a number of people in this community, reptile community, that are, how do I be careful in saying this? They don't have experience with the animal that they are expert in, that they are offering expert advice in. And it sometimes they're just scams, like a number of these websites that are in the chameleon world. They, by somebody, you Google the name, that person may have had a chameleon 10 years ago, but they don't now. And they don't have any pictures of their own. They're just grabbing information off other sites. And so that's kind of a scammy. Then you've got people who are well intentioned in the community, but they're talking about they're talking about like reptiles that they have had maybe once or haven't ever had. They're just taking information from trusted sources, and they're just redirecting it. And the thing is, you lose the experience. And so it's important for everybody to figure out, where did that information come from? That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. And we had something on the screen I showed. Two Turtle Tom was telling us that only a Sith deals in absolutes. And I know that, you and I
that
both
is correct, and you are wrong
all the time. But Chris is here from Zev Green Reptiles, and I showed his picture. And Eliza Ann said hi to Chris. And so Anna Ballistic says, I cross-reference answers and look on how they come up with that information. If someone's giving you an answer without considering all the aspects of husbandry, then they aren't experts. So that's true.
Yeah.
And,
Annabelle, really, just take those names and Google the names and see how many of those people exist. So many of these experts just spontaneously came to be on Facebook or Reddit or whatever their little empire that they built, and they don't exist outside of that.
If you get a Facebook account and you start a group, you can be the admin. It doesn't take anything to be the admin. You get a couple moderators, and then you have a whole team, and people think you know something, but you know how to do Facebook. You know how to use Facebook or Reddit or YouTube or whatever. You might know how to do that. You might know how to make great videos, but that doesn't mean you have any idea what to do with reptiles. And most of us are busy dealing with our reptiles all day long and not telling other people.
Yeah, and that's the problem. You've got the people who are truly embedded into this, and they may not be good at presentation. It's the same problem that scientists have been having for centuries. They know a lot of stuff. They're really bad at presenting it, and so everybody decides they don't know what they're talking about. It's the same thing when you got actors giving medical advice. Why are you listening to that actor?
Or anything else, any other advice. It's, you get into that whole thing, but, people don't know what, they, just because they're popular or whatever, doesn't mean they have any clue of what's going on. Hey,
all right,
so
Chris has got info.
Yes. So great news, Chris. We got a one-time pass. Can you send us the details, and I'll put it on the screen here. What day, what time, and what city?
Oh, this is exciting, Chris. Congratulations.
All right.
Good idea to look for other venues.
Right. Yeah. Look for a different venue for the second one. But yeah, the thing is, you do need to look into different things. And the other danger is when you're a novice and you're looking for information on even if you've never had a specific, let's say I go out and I get a, I don't know, I can't think of something off the top of my head, but a reptile I've never owned, and I'm a novice and I want to look for information. I can't go to 5 different sources and take whatever I like and put it all together in a recipe. It's like baking a cake with 5 different recipes, and you're not going to end up with a very good cake at the end of the time with the 5 different recipes, because it's not going to work out. Now, my grandma, who was 90 years old when she passed, she could do that, but she'd been baking from the time she was like 5 or 10 years old, and she knew exactly what to do and exactly what could be, but that's when you've known a little bit. But you can't put a whole bunch of things together and figure out that that's good. So you also have to kind of trust one main source and then verify it. And if you can verify it, then maybe verify it, triple check it. I think it's really important to do that kind of stuff. Thoughts?
Yeah. And the thing is, who's going to do that? Who really does that? I don't know. I get so many people who come to me and say, wow, you sound like you know what you're talking about. They don't know anything about my history. They come to me and say, I'm wondering if you know an answer to this question. And I know, because I see on social media that they've asked 5 other people. And so I'm just another number. They didn't research me to figure out if I know what I'm talking about or not. So I don't know that anybody, does anybody research anybody?
I do.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, somebody.
But you know what? I'm a professional. I can't just spout off anything, and I carry that into my personal life. So by day, I have to give people good medical advice. And so when I'm going to give them advice about reptiles or something else, I check and double check and triple check, and still don't believe it, and still think it, and still am skeptical about everything. But I didn't go into fogging blindly. That was a new thing when I was just getting back into chameleons. But I did it, and I did a little bit, and I did a little more, and I did a little more, and I listened to more people, and I thought about it, and that's the way I got to do stuff. So I guess I'm the person who does that. But does everybody do it? No. That's why why I had this show, is because people listen to people and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. Things like, oh, I don't know. Do I get into it, Bill, about putting a cup down for chameleons to drink? I mean, it's just crazy. Buying chameleon eggs, which is another one of those pet peeves that we have in our group, because one, you don't know what was done with the parents or what have you. You don't know even what gender it is, and taking care of the newborn or new hatched chameleons is the most difficult part of the whole chameleon life, and you can't make a mistake. That's why we keep them to the 3 or 6 or 9 months old, depending on what type of chameleon. So I don't know.
Here's the problem in what I said about Googling. That just tells you who's been around for a while. I will tell you, most people that are the loudest voices, if you Google them, you will find nothing more than whatever platform they started on. That there was no history behind that. That is how they spontaneously generated. And so there is no history.
All right. So people. Chris is giving us a 10-4, but I don't see any other details. What city and what date? I thought it was like February, the first weekend in February, Saturday or Sunday, and I don't know. But Chris, tell us a little more. All right, let's see if there's new comments. Let's see what else we've got here.
Oh, they're doing to you what they did to me. The mob is getting restless.
The mob is getting restless.
They are demanding to see Mikey.
All right. I don't care. Mike, you want to come on live or do a podcast? Just check in. My email is Sean at McZoo at Reptile Show Reporter. It is also Sean at McZoo Exotics, but it's Sean at Reptile Reporter Show.com and Reptile Show Reporter. I said it wrong. Sean at Reptile Show Reporter.com. Just email me and I'll get you on. Mikey Ben. All right. Okay, we're getting a little.
All right, we need to bring him on live here.
We'll bring him on live.
That's right.
I can bring him on live now if he sends me an email that I could get him on, so we could probably put him on.
You could replace me.
Nah, you can't be replaced, Bill. You're never retiring. You're never going to be replaced. You have to be here all the time. You had to ask permission to be gone in a couple weeks.
That's right. I had to give a 2-week notice to be gone for one show.
I had to get a notice to let him off the show because I'm one of those people with when sometimes my brain doesn't work, and he needs to be here for me. He's my crutch. He's my assistant. He's my.
But I wasn't really talking about replace me on the show. I just meant since I've got to leave like 15 minutes early today. That's what I meant.
Okay.
I wasn't.
I've had a long day, Bill, and worked 2 jobs and didn't get my nap, so I'd be good with finishing early.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure out what to do. Let's see what we've got going on here. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, and interview Chris too. I mean, they're getting a whole guest list for
Chris
you.
was on the show already. We've had him on like a couple weeks ago. Go back. It hasn't even been 2 months.
Yeah, but what have you done for us lately?
Yes, what has he done for us lately? Okay. All right. Mikey Ben. Me on camera. All right. So to just send something to my email, I'm taking it out right now. Bill, talk so I can check out the email.
This is why we have live shows, so you can get immediate satisfaction with what you demand. Can't go live now, sorting out my 3D printer.
My show. That's Bill's shows. She doesn't have to work on Wednesday night. She gets the night off, like golf.
That's right. Yvette doesn't come on this show, though she's welcome to, but
absolutely. I actually love her Instagram posts. I'm liking hers more than Bill's. So
yeah, I've noticed there's a lot of people that are liking hers more than mine. Just taking a look at her.
But her posts are awesome, and they have all these cool geckos that I don't have, and it's not like the chameleons that he sends me. All right, so here we go. Let's jump topics. Southwest East Michigan Reptile Expo, New Baltimore, Michigan, at the New Baltimore Trade Center, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Non-venomous. I assume no local or state in-state thingies. I think that's always the case, but non-venomous. There you go. There it is. Chris's show.
It's going to be. That's awesome. Wait, what day is it?
It doesn't say the date. Chris is just like dragging this on. I think he's trying to get so many posts in this show. He's going to see how many times I can put him up in the show. He's bet somebody, or they're drinking every time. They're having a game where they're drinking every time we put up Chris's posts. So we'll have to see what's going on there. All right, I guess we'll have to look at it online too and figure it out. What day, and February 17th.
Yay!
Oh, Chris, I changed my vacation. I'm gone. I won't be there. Holy mackerel. Snikes, I was going to be on vacation today, and I'm going on the 14th of February through the 20-something. We're still going to do the shows. I'm going to do it live from my parents' place, but down in Florida. Shoot. Well, then you need Chris is going to have to be my, what is it called? On-site reporter. On the scene. He's going to have to report for me, take a bunch of pictures and send it to me. Cause I didn't make it to the Saline Reptile Show, but I had 3 vendors who I knew from the Taylor Show send me pictures, all kinds of pictures from Saline. So, and the Taylor Show this weekend, I didn't mention this yet. It didn't happen because it wasn't because it was freezing cold, because it was. And I braved the cold, I braved the snow. I got almost there, and I got people telling me that the show had been canceled because there's no power. So one of the vendors who had frozen rats and mice that I needed met me about 20 minutes before the show. Rat Fillet. Their packaging is awesome. He's got a vacuum seal that he vacuum seals the mice and the rats in before they freeze them or whatever they have to do. But that's how they package them. I don't know. I didn't get into the details with them, but those are really cool because you can rip them open, unzip the Ziploc thingy, and take something out and put it back together. It's really cool. But anyways, I'm off topic. Let's see. Better be changing again. No, unfortunately, that is the only time I can go. Michigan, a great place to buy your rats. It was mostly mice, but I guess it's called Rat Fillet because he was part of the food industry before he got into this. I don't know if he's still part of it, but he spent a big chunk of change on this machine that vacuum seals them in there. I'm sure they're frozen first, but vacuum seals them in there and they keep them frozen and what have you. So, anyways, so we're still talking about who can you trust and what do you do. I think you need to verify things, and you need to verify them more than ever before because it's so easy to get credentials. Like It used to be that if a person had a business card, well, they have a business, or they had stationery, or they had a website, but those things have become so easy to be able to just fake them, build them. People can build those in a few minutes. And then, so that's really important, that you verify who the people are, verify how long they've been doing it, verify that they've actually owned that pet. And sometimes people talk about them, Clint's Reptiles talks about all kinds of pets he hasn't owned, but he also tells you this is not a care guide. This is about it. He gives you 5 reasons to like them or not like them, ranks them by a number, but he doesn't tell you how to take care of them, and don't unless he actually is taking care of those. So, and sometimes he gets it wrong. People have differing opinions, but and that's the same thing. You got to figure out what's going on. So, anyways, Bill, back to you. Or not.
Well, like I said, this has been such a problem, because there is so much information out there that now there's actually a whole class of content creator that just distributes information. They don't create information, they distribute it, they analyze it the way with whatever experience they have, and then present it as expertise. And of course, if you present something well, you are saying, okay, you're an expert. We're going to go with what you say. And it's just going to get worse and worse, especially with AI coming more and more into play. Right now, all you have to do is now have AI put together an article, and everybody, it's happening. I mean, I was on the Chameleon forums a little while ago, and there was one post where someone was using AI to answer a question.
It's getting a lot better, but it's still not good. You still can somewhat tell. But
the thing is, it's not solid information. Even if the information is technically right, there's no understanding behind it. And so we are creating this class of person who gets social activity going on and gets whatever comes from that social activity, but they don't have any basis. And it's kind of like learning, working with a calculator, but then fewer and fewer people know how to build a calculator, and they don't know how to do the calculations, how to program a calculator. And yeah, everybody can use a calculator. Nobody wants to know how to do it, but somebody has to. You have to at least know and maintain that information somewhere. And it's a good idea to know who's creating that.
I'm going to give you a quote from Star Wars to back this up. What am I going to say? It's a difference between knowledge and wisdom, which is experience. That's from it was that one weird guy talking to Obi-Wan on I think it was the very first Star Wars, the Star Wars 1, but it might have been Star Wars
prequels.
Yeah, I know they weren't. I know they weren't the same, but it was still cool. It was still awesome. It was still a quote, and it was true. Because that when you have knowledge, you have all kinds of knowledge. But he was trying to figure out what this dart from one of those Camino things were, and it had a symbol on it, and they couldn't find it. And he was trying to tell you that the droids couldn't figure it out because they didn't know, they didn't have wisdom, they just had knowledge. So there you go. That's what I think.
Right.
And actually, that
wisdom
is
from Star Wars.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's really true. Knowledge is not the end all be all everything. It's experience. If you don't have any experience, knowledge, when you have a lot of knowledge and no experience, that is the most dangerous time ever, because you think you know something, but you don't. Here's
the question. Yeah. And it's not a trick question. It's a real question. What is it? And this is a serious question here. Well, what does it matter? So say in somebody's situation, like I've spent decades learning about chameleons, developing information about chameleons. I mean, some things like UV index of 3, that happened on my podcast. We figured it out over the years, and various people added things to the story, and that was the vehicle that tied it all together. So what's the value of that? Why is that important? Now, intuitively, we know, okay, the people who create the information, we don't want to that's valuable. We need those people. But do we? I mean, we should, but if that's not really valued, how are we going to keep those kind of people around? When all you got to do is learn the basics and regurgitate them, how are we going to keep the people who create new things around? Open-ended question. I don't have the answer to that.
Right. No, I think it's very important because some of the people are passing away, you know?
Yes,
People
this was happening.
Like World War II, the vets from World War II who knew everything that was going on and how things were and what it was really like, they're almost all gone. I have a friend who's a historian who's talking about all that stuff. And, what happened there, what was the truth, and as they try to, history is changed, and I don't know. But
you look at, of course I can talk about chameleons because that's what I know. But do we really need to know more about chameleons? We can keep most of them. Panther chameleons, we can keep them 5 years. Is that victory enough? Do we need to keep putting husbandry forward? Or do we just wallow in what we know already and say, okay, mission accomplished, and just repackage it 100 times?
No, to infinity and beyond, Bill.
Yeah, well, that is intuitive what the right answer is, intuitively, but practically speaking, where I don't even know what question to ask, but it's something that I struggle with, and I
guess the question is you're asking is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it that important to get
maybe.
Is it that important to get that information out? Are we going to get them to live 5 years and 3 days versus 5 years if we do $10 million worth of studies on them? Or are we going to double the lifespan and double their happiness or perceived happiness, or double their contentedness or whatever? Then maybe it's worth the squeeze.
Yeah, that's sometimes. Yes, I believe it. There's going to be no way to stop me. And there are a number of people surrounding me and we're having fun doing it. And a lot of them are right here in the chat. But looking at the general community out there, I wonder, do they really?
When you stop learning, Bill, you stop living, you stop growing, you start dying. I mean, there's two ways to go.
I agree. I agree with.
You're growing or you're dying. It's one of the two. You don't just stop growing and exist for a period of time, and then you're either growing, getting newer, or getting worse. So there's nothing in nature that just sits. And trees, but they just sit. They're growing. They're not busy dying. They're until they they're growing. Even the great redwoods are getting bigger. So ever so slowly, but you're either growing or you're dying. So I don't know. Let's look at some of the comments here, Bill, and then we can wrap this up so we can get you going. So
okay. Yep.
And stop learning. The infamous James Cross, who's one of those Illuminatis right now, or whatever we might call him today.
You're supposed to say that publicly.
Oh, all right. No, you did the whole commercial on him
Don't blame me.
Dark and what have you on Instagram. So all these people know about it. Some of the greatest breakthroughs have been mistakes. Yes. Even the greatest medicines have been mistakes. Think about blood pressure medications. There are all kinds of good stuff that came out of mistakes from blood pressure medications. And how boring to stop learning. And the Facebook user said, shush. Oops. I don't know what she's shushing us about. That's
probably about the Illuminati.
You just said it again, bro.
What? I didn't say
it. I was sworn to secrecy. Oh, I don't remember. You just posted it and you're sworn to secrecy. No, I'm sworn to secrecy on the secret handshake. I'm never going to tell everybody what the secret handshake is. And no one will ever guess it. So don't worry about it. All right. So,
Wow.
good Lord. I didn't know I put that up. I can't believe I didn't read it first. All right. It's a secret. I don't know what the secret is, but let's not talk about it because it's a secret. All
Secret,
right.
man.
So we've come to the conclusion, Bill, that you have to check your sources and recheck your sources and keep checking the sources, figure out who to depend on, and you can't stop ever learning because then if you're not growing, you're dying, which is also somebody's catchphrase or something like that. But any other um, let's see, never stop. That's this is Stephanie Payne, I'm sure, and all right. And Mikey Ben is complaining, but I won't put his complaint on because I want him to email me so we can go ahead and get him on next week or 2 weeks or whatever. So, all right. So, any final thoughts, Bill?
No final thoughts. We're all just responsible for what we fill into our heads. And I know there are people who all they want is the first convenient answer that may be right. And then there's the people who want the right answer, even if it's not satisfying. And yes, those are the two absolutes. And I
All right.
deal in
We'll
absolutes.
we'll let James have a final thought. With great knowledge comes great responsibility, which is very true. Also, with great power comes great responsibility. That's why in some organizations I want to have little responsibility and little power, but because that means more work and more hours of sleepless nights. But anyways, okay. And Inspector Gadget Howard is saying if electricity goes out today, world will be without creating all the great. They would, but there might be some people who be, they're in the Roman times and Greek times. There were all kinds of philosophers walking in and talking all the time. So I don't know that's all.
I would print a newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. All right, be kind every day, Chris. We'll agree with that. We'll make that the final thought. I'm going to give one final thought, which is thank you all for being here. We started with a negative note, but then I changed to a positive as we have new baby micro squirrels here. So that's new life, at least 4 of them. And we talked about all the different things that you can do to verify people, make sure that you check your sources, make sure you Google them, make sure you figure out what's happening, where they've been and who and just don't just trust a simple recipe, figure it out, but stick to one recipe if you don't know what's going on. And
Thursday, tomorrow.
All right, Thursday, tomorrow.
Remind everybody.
Yes, it'll be Bill, myself, and Two Turtle Time on Two Turtle Time's show. And I think his co-host, who I don't remember off the top of my head, he's got a co-host, but it's on at 8:00 Eastern, 5:00 on the West Pacific Coast, and we're going to be talking chameleons. We're going to be talking particularly Kenyan chameleons, most likely just about Jacksons and Ellies, maybe a little bit of Eliade, maybe a few others, but that's where we're going to be. And good night, everybody.
Good night.